Hello everybody, Gilligan Kruger 0829 here, and welcome to another announcement / discussion topic video. Well, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the end to one of the most magical movie franchises. Well, the most magical movie franchise if you count box office results, has been out in theaters for just over a week now, if you give or take a few hours, since most of us saw it at midnight. And now that I think of it, I wanted to look back at the franchise as a whole, all the way back to November of 2001. Stop to really break it down and think, alright, how much did these movies actually do well and get right? Now, this isn't a video comparing it to the books, because I'm only halfway through Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm very late when reading this, and I've only skimmed bits of the other four after that, so I'm not going to be saying, well, in the book this happened, or in the book that didn't happen. So that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is, how did the filming and atmosphere of the stuff go into these? Like, how did the story play out? How did the look of these movies play out? And how was the casting? And if anything, what would I change about the movie? So here's a short little video, and it's some things for you to think about, too. So, I'd love to hear your comments on this. So first off, let's take a look at the look of the movie. Hogwarts has always looked great for me. I still remember the first time seeing it, my jaw just dropped. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Because, let's face it, it's like a castle / school thing. On the outside it looked cool, on the inside it looked really cool. However, if there was one thing I'd like to amend, I'd like a little bit more consistency with Hogwarts. What I mean by this is, in the first two movies, Stone and Chamber, we had the Whomping Willow, which actually wasn't introduced till the second movie, to be honest, but still. The Willow was in one of the Hogwarts courtyards, and Hagrid's hut was like right on the edge of the Forbidden Forest. Literally on the edge of the Forbidden Forest, and not too far from the school. However, in Prisoner of Azkaban Forward, the Whomping Willow is outside of the school on what appears to be a hillside, and Hagrid's house, not only is it not near the edge of the forest, you can barely see any trees behind it, but it's much farther from the school as well. And I would have been more satisfied if they were a little bit more faithful to the original design. It's a small little nitpick, but it was something that bothered me throughout the later movies. I'm thinking, wait a minute, what is that doing there? Shouldn't it be farther in the school? But again, small little nitpick. I loved the look of Hogwarts whenever we were there, from the opening Great Hall to the Yule Ball to even everything around it. So, for the most part, good job on the look. I don't have too much to say on the story, other than just a little personal thing. I would have liked a few more Quidditch matches, because that's awesome. I would love to play Quidditch. Most all of us would like a broomstick, period. And especially to play a game on one, that would be like, wow, this is awesome. And a few small little bits and pieces in the story that didn't make sense to me, like, there was part in the first movie, like right after the troll, where they're talking about Snape, and Hermione asks Harry, she's like, why would anyone try to get past the three-headed dog? I'm thinking, but you were the one that noticed the trap door. Why are you asking the question? And there are things I could go on all day about Prisoner of Azkaban, like, why didn't Harry bring the invisibility cloak when he was first looking for Pettigrew? And why didn't Hermione just cast an Immobilis charm on the Whomping Willow, since she did it in the second movie? But again, small things. But the big thing you probably want to know, from my point of view, is the casting. If I would have changed any of these actors or actresses. Well, I'm gonna actually start by the ones I, without a doubt, would not change. Obviously, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint are great. I loved the way they grew up with the franchise. I loved how they acted more mature in every movie. I would not replace them at all. I liked Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid. Don't know why I was thinking Dumbledore. Because I think he really plays off the lovable giant. And I was really happy that even though it was a small role, that he was in Deathly Hallows Part 2. That made me happy. I think the Dursleys were pretty well cast. We didn't like them. That was what we were supposed to. I liked Maggie Smith as McGonagall. She had that shrill, serious, and strict tone, but still likable all in all. I always liked Alan Rickman as Snape. I thought he was one of the best casting picks of all. I think he really did well in the fact that, again, a lot of these characters, I think the movies made us want to hate. And with Snape's story was really good. Alan Rickman is great. I think he's one of the most underrated actors in all of Hollywood, but he was great in this role. While we're in Slytherin House, though, I will say I liked Jason Isaacs and Tom Felton as Lucius and Draco Malfoy, respectively. Again, even though they were assholes, they really made the characters interesting. I liked both actors that played Dumbledore, particularly Michael Gambon. However, I kind of would have liked it if they went with him all along. Not that I'm saying Richard Harris is a bad actor. I thought he was great as Dumbledore. But when they made the switch after Harris died, it was a little bit too obvious. I thought Dumbledore actually looked a little bit younger, and you could definitely tell that that was a different guy. I could, anyway. Who else? Voldemort. Voldemort. He was great. I loved Ralph Fiennes. I think he's a really good baddie. He was Ramesses in Prince of Egypt and Hades in the new Clash of the Titans movie, even though I think he channeled a little bit too much of Voldemort in that role. But honestly, I think of all the baddies Fiennes has played that I've seen, this was his best. I think Voldemort was creepy. He was frightening. And he even made the character a little bit humorous in the last two movies. Like, again, I'm falling back on the, well, I would have hoped for better line when Neville steps up, but most all of the baddies are well portrayed. Helena Bonham Carter is great as Bellatrix Lestrange. There are some small villains that I like too, none that really stuck out to me, but who am I forgetting? Oh, Sirius Black. How could I ignore him? Played by Gary Oldman, one of my favorite actors of all time. Great. I hadn't even known who Gary Oldman was before these movies, but now I think he's really good in the role. Liked him a lot. Have liked him in every movie I've seen him in. Didn't always like his characters, but Sirius was really well cast. And most everyone I thought was really well done. I would keep 95+% of these actors. I think the one I would have changed, though, is Bonnie Wright as Ginny, who I thought, don't get me wrong, I don't think she's a bad actress. I think she was good in the role, but I don't think she made Ginny exciting enough. I thought Ginny was kind of a bore in these movies. Like, the first two she was okay because she played the entire scared little girl who wanted to see Harry but was afraid of how she would take him very well. But after that, when she became a more drawn-out character, I don't think it came out very well. I would have liked a little bit more fluidity. In fact, maybe I wouldn't have even changed the performance. Well, sorry, changed the actress. Just change the performance around a little bit. But again, small little gripe. They're all small little things I might have changed, but overall I think this is a very fantastic franchise. I think the acting was good. I think the casting was great. The look was phenomenal. The special effects have all been good. I think they've all been directed very well to really give the tone that the movies wanted you to. So I do think, for the most part, as far as how it came off, it was a very good success. I was interested all the way through, and I definitely think they captivated my interest. But what would you guys change, if you could, about Harry Potter? Would you change the look of it? Would you change certain actors or actresses? Or would you just change certain lines of dialogue that you might have thought were silly? Feel free to comment on what my views and say some of your own views in the comment section below. And until next time, Lumos!